Hello and welcome to the 6th round of the Joel Clay Championship. This week, which was actually last week, we raced at the Assen circuit in the Netherlands. And surprise, surprise, it's raining. Just like in real life. We skip forward now to my best lap in qualifying. My teammate there, Fox, very, very kindly moved out of the way to give me a free run. Which is fantastic because I don't like being in the dirty air behind another bike. That was very kind of him, but I hadn't done any practice in these conditions, so it was just a learning experience, let's say, just going around trying to feel the conditions as best I can. But what I did do is, because from the Le Mans session, if you remember earlier on in the season, that was also wet in the qualifying, and I knew the track was just going to get faster and faster, so I waited until the end to put in my lap, which is where we are now. The timer has gone, but as I say, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going around trying to put in some kind of decent lap. As Joanne goes fastest with 32.8, that's fantastic. Yeah, 3/10 down, not putting in a clean lap really. It's a bit messy, but I knew because it was at the end of the session, it was going to be somewhat decent, just because the track was in a better condition at this point. But 2/10 down now, gained a bit of time, but through this final sector, I think this final chicane in particular, I was losing a lot of time as we go into here. I thought I did it quite well, but I guess I was missing something, because I lost a huge chunk of time there, doing a 33.3 as Danny takes an amazing pole position, but we're down in 6th position. Not fantastic, but a second row is better than nothing. Alvaro there and Carserg unfortunately didn't even get a lap in. That's the problem with these conditions. They change so much that it's really easy to make a mistake. But onto the race. I was hoping to, well, just do the best I can. The race again is wet, so I didn't have much hope. I was just trying to hope I could stay on the bike and see where we ended up at the end. But yeah, so start, get better through the gears as we go into turn 1 in 5th position, get a nice line on the inside here. This is fantastic. Few people running wide up into 2nd, 3rd, get just touched onto that green section there. Luckily we didn't get a penalty. Trying to find some kind of line through here without being touched by anybody else, and up the inside comes Alvaro and 1,000 other people, and somehow, never before has this happened, but I survive the carnage. Wow, it's a dream come true. We're in 4th position, 2 places up. Hard to see with the spray. Not sure where to brake, what to do. Just trying to feel the conditions and improve as I go along. But certainly at the moment I was pleased to sit in 4th place, and as the laps were going by, I was just trying to just get quicker and quicker really, as the conditions improved and I could learn where to brake, where to turn in, what gears to use and things. But the top 3 now, they've either got some practice in these conditions, or they're just really good at adapting. I don't know, but they're pulling away from me. It's not looking good at all for a podium chance at the moment. But a bit of contact in the final chicane, and the wildcard rider Julito sadly goes down. That promotes me up into 3rd position, which is fantastic for me. Unlucky for him, and we've got a bit of clear air now. It's a bit safer, and we can just hopefully feel our way into this race. Joanne and Carlos are ahead. They do look like they're struggling a bit, if I'm honest. They're not taking the perfect lines, so I think everybody is trying to adjust to the conditions. It's just a case of whether your setup works with the wet track. Skipping forward here, nothing really happened, to be honest. I was just feeling my way into the conditions. The gap is pretty much the same, and it had stayed around 1.7 to 1.9 seconds for the large amount of the race. I had pretty much the same pace as the leaders, as another wildcard rider, CRJ, sadly has a crash. But yeah, I had pretty much the same pace as the front two, but obviously nothing extra to be able to catch them. So I was just sitting in a nice third spot, and I would happily take a podium here. But the weird thing was, I felt like I was riding reasonably well at this point. I felt pretty comfortable, so I was surprised I wasn't able to close in the gap. But maybe it was my settings or the engine braking on 3. Maybe that's not good in the wet, I don't know. I'd have to do some more practice to see what the best setup was. But skipping a lap forward to lap 6 here, Suitho's now caught up, and out of nowhere just comes up the inside and does a fantastic overtake on me. That demotes me down to 4th position. And at this point I was thinking, wow, this guy, he's so fast. What can I try and learn from him and stick with him? Maybe he can carry me up to the front two. But I don't know what it was. I just couldn't quite get the same speed that he had, which is unusual normally in changeable conditions, or where you have to learn on the go. I quite enjoy it. I feel that's one of my strong points, but for some reason I just didn't have the performance in this one at all. I don't know what it was. It was like my bike was understeering loads. Everybody had more grip, but yeah, I guess that's down to me. I wasn't doing something right, but yeah, just trying to work out what it was behind Suitho. But already he's pulling away, and I'm going to lose any kind of tow that he would have given me. But skipping forward again, losing more time to Suitho as he crosses the line, puts in a new fastest lap, catching up to the leaders now as the track, as I say, gets quicker and quicker as the race goes on. My rear tyre not really up to temperature. Perhaps that was a problem, why I didn't have much traction. I'm not sure. Maybe I should have lowered the traction control to warm up my tyre a bit more, but I don't know. But now I'm under pressure from Carserg and Alvaro behind, closing right in, and I just wanted to hold on to my 4th place. I think Suitho's gone at this point, but going into here, I'd had a lapse of concentration or something. I don't know, but I completely ruined that chicane, and that lets Carserg through, which is unfortunate for me. And I just didn't want to go backwards at this point. I knew Alvaro was behind and he was setting some fast lap times. So I was thinking, well, I've stayed in front of Carserg for the whole race. I know our pace is going to be similar, but I think I can have him. So I was just desperately now trying to close in on him and get that position back. I didn't want to fall back through the field. I didn't want to get eaten up. So I was just trying really hard, trying to play with different techniques, using different gears, trying to brake in a different way to gain some more speed. And we have closed in a bit up to him now. But yeah, I was really trying my best at this point to go for some fast laps, and it does seem to be working. I was trying to use a bit less rear brake more into the corner, which is weird. I normally like to lift off the brake and sort of coast in on the last section of the corner, but for some reason in the rainy conditions that didn't seem to be working, because the bike understeers so much when you lift off the throttle. You just seem better off braking as late as possible, because you can't carry that extra speed you normally would. But through this chicane, do really well without using much rear brake. And I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna go close in, but unfortunately just misjudged it and hit the back of Carserg there and go down. which was really unfortunate, but I didn't mind too much because I was pushing and it was my own fault. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Sadly down to 7th. Carlos takes another fantastic victory, but yeah, in the previous races, as you probably know, then I've been really unlucky being involved in some incidents, but that one didn't bother me. It was my own fault. That's what happens when you push sometimes. But yeah, Johan takes a great 2nd place. My teammate Fox moves up to 5th. That was great considering his qualifying position. And yeah, not a great race at all by me, but I wasn't disappointed with it as I was in the previous rounds because I didn't feel like I was particularly robbed. But the one thing that does or did annoy me a bit at the end was I didn't realise everybody had such a big penalty. People were, let's say, using a bit of extra track. So I could have just sat behind Carserg and actually taken 4th position just by sitting there because everybody had such big penalties. But there we go. It is what it is. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.